Strategic Framework and Action Plan. To design a green infrastructure that is coherent and strategic, it is fundamental for the specific objectives adapted to the local level to be in line with the EU strategies and also with any national or regional ones. In the cross-border case of Spain and Portugal, the Common Cross-Border Strategy approved in 2020 shares various objectives with the Green Infrastructure Strategy and the Green Gap Project. Noteworthy objectives include supporting the management of cross-border protected areas in both countries and studying the creation of new areas, protecting cross-border drainage basins and making sustainable use of them, strengthening collaboration in protecting, conserving, managing and raising awareness about the environmental and socio-economic value of common ecosystems, as well as coordinating the work by urban agendas to ensure that all municipalities contribute to the green infrastructure. In designing this network of spaces that make up the green infrastructure, the role of towns is essential because they have to reflect specific interests on a local scale. The new paradigm for sustainable management of resources involves considering green infrastructure as a fundamental tool to achieve multi-level, multi-scale, rational and efficient management. That is why the strategic framework for drawing up a local strategy for green infrastructure must take into account vertical integration with the regulations and strategies in force on different scales. After drawing up the initial diagnosis, a strategic framework must be created with a view to the future that allows for short, medium and long-term planning. This strategic framework is arranged into specific and general objectives, strategic goals and lines of action to guide the action plan. This includes concepts like nature, conservation, restoration, sustainable development, participation and transparency throughout the process. To achieve the objectives and goals, it is necessary to have a strategic action plan to enable us to manage the proposed green infrastructure network. This plan must implement a series of concrete actions that must match the lines of action, such as 1. Interterritorial and intergovernmental coordination measures to ensure the local green infrastructure is connected and coherent with the green infrastructure networks on different scales and levels. 2. Measures to update and improve scientific and technical knowledge about the components of the green infrastructure network on different scales and territorial scenarios. 3. Measures to identify the need for legal or administrative actions, strengthening and ensuring the strategy's objectives, goals, and lines of action are met. 4. Priority action measures. These include conservation measures for ecological connectivity and restoration, measures to control and eradicate alloctonous species, paying special attention to those classified as exotic invasive ones, measures to reduce scenic and environmental impacts, measures to control and monitor uncontrolled discharges and solid waste. 5. Measures to foster citizen collaboration and participation, geared towards boosting real, effective participation from citizens and environmental entities, bolstering collaboration with research centers, universities, and the business fabric, collaborating with public and private entities as well as with non-governmental organizations, disseminating the objectives and goals of the local green infrastructure strategy. In addition to each of these measures, the action plan must include or describe other types of information, like timeline and budget, indicating the estimated deadline for implementation and the possible costs and sources of funding. Monitoring and evaluation, setting up a system to measure the strategy's degree of fulfillment. Division by periods, observing the deadlines in the higher level strategies. For example, in Galicia, the regional strategy will be reviewed every decade until 2050. As a result, the plan for monitoring and implementing Galicia's green infrastructure strategy must be revised and updated by these deadlines. Developing a cross-border green infrastructure strategy demands a well-defined strategic framework and a concrete action plan to structure strengths on multiple levels. It is essential to integrate local objectives with European, national, and regional strategies in order to foster sustainable development of natural resources and balanced development in the Euro region.